Hey, gang, today's episode of Still Untitled, The Adam Savage Project is brought to you by Casper.
Casper is a company that sells mattresses. It's a startup. I've actually tried their mattresses before. It's cool. It comes in this box, and it kind of breeds out, unfolds on its own.
Like, they ship it in the mail?
It's shipped in the mail. The UPS guy brings it over, and then I love watching it like come to life. But there's memory foam in there.
Latex foam, memory foam.
Yep.
If you don't like memory foam, you feel like you sink in too much, the latex foam gives you a little bit of extra lift. They're obsessively engineered, American-made, which I love. I love buying stuff that's made in America. And they're cheap.
Yeah, it's really affordable.
So it's $500 for a twin, $950 for a king. That's it. That's the high end. If you go, last time I went to the mattress store and bought a mattress, it was like $1,500 for the entry-level bad mattress and went up from there. So $950 for a king sounds pretty reasonable to me. And if you're worried about trying a mattress, getting a mattress in the mail and not being able to try it before you sleep on it, they offer you 100 days to return it.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Can do a lot on mattress in 100 days.
So, yeah,
check it out, Casper.com.
It's casper.com/untitled. If you use the offer code untitled, you'll get $50 off of any mattress purchase. You're trying it. I've got one coming. We'll let you know how it goes. Thanks for supporting Still Untitled, Casper. See you guys later.
Bye.
Welcome to Still Untitled, the Adam Savage Project. I'm Will.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Norm.
Better.
We're going to try that
It's
again.
almost as though you're sitting here, Adam.
We just talked for about 10 minutes and we weren't recording.
I would say 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
And I think we agree that Truman Show is better than EdTV.
But that's not too much of a leap. Although Will maintains that EdTV
has
ages
well.
better. It aged better.
I would say EdTV has an undeniable charm because of Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson's performances as Ed and Ed's dirtbag brother.
Which one's a dirtbag?
Woody Harrelson is
Dirtbag brother is there could be an entire genre for Dirtbag brother.
If you want to look at movies with good dirtbag brothers, look for Woody Harrelson and see where he's playing supporting roles.
You're totally right.
Yeah, he plays dirtbag brother a lot.
Wow.
I like EdTV. I like Truman Show too. Ed Harris is fantastic.
I love Truman Show.
I am the creator.
What's that?
I am the creator. Dramatic pause.
I also particularly we were doing some stuff. We were shooting some tactical driving story. We were shooting a tactical driving story last week down in Monterey, and as part of it, we were filling the streets full of obstacles that had to be navigated around, including, awesomely, a flaming car.
Really?
Yeah, so we brought out one of the Heron brothers, guys I worked with up at Industrial Light and Magic. They're licensed pyros and they do everything else. And they brought out a flame bar and they, when it's time to shoot, they made that car burn. And then I'm driving by a burning car. Wow. It felt so awesome.
So is this a situation like when Norm and I had to hit each other in the face a couple of years ago? That was one of those things that socially I was not prepared to hit another man in the face.
It's really difficult, isn't it?
It's hard to do.
It's really hard to do.
Especially to not just pull back at the last minute. Is this the same thing? Like, is driving by a burning car, do you just not want to do that instinctively?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, you're just like, this is so cool.
Dangle the arm out the window and be like...
It is as... So... A couple of weeks ago, here's what it's reminding me of. Driving by a burning car is akin to this experience. I'm in my bed. I'm on the computer. I am corresponding with someone who is one of my heroes. At the same time, this amazing prop, which I spent 10 years is sitting on my bedside table because that's what I do when I finish them. I bring them home to stare at them on my bedside table. And Julia looks over and she goes, dude, you are 8-year-old you's freaking hero.
High five to the past.
Yeah, high five past me. Things turned out okay.
It's a lovely thought. Yeah.
That's what driving past a burning car is also like. Okay. You're like, wow, and you feel the heat as you go by.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's pretty good.
The one thing I would say going back to Truman Show, as the end of Truman Show, it's very much the feeling that I want to get at the end of The Martian when they make the movie.
Like
everyone's watching.
Like he closes, he steps out the door and the movie cuts.
The unifying of the entire planet.
That I found one of the most moving bits in The Martian is when he made it clear how much this would be. Yeah, we talked about.
I know we did.
But how deeply the whole planet would be invested in this.
For The Martian.
But I mean, but like in the Truman Show, there's a scene like they cut to people where like all around the world,
McMahon running down the stairs,
right? And then there's like the people in the bar cheering, and then there's a guy in the bathtub the whole time. It's like gripping on to the side, the curtains.
Well, but they did a good job with that through the rest of the movie because those people are introduced through the rest of the movie as fans of the show.
Right.
Whenever they need a reaction, they cut away to those people. I can't believe we're doing a mini Truman Show spoiler cast here, but yeah, it's like it builds a connection with those people, and they're your proxies, and when they're happy, you're happy.
Oh, so right. The whole reason I brought up the burning car on the set last week was because it looked, as you're driving by, it was awesome. But if you spend any time staring at it, it looked just as cheesy as when they're trying to keep Truman from leaving the island. And they set up the guys in hazmat suits and he just drives right past them.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's what you're going for, right?
It is precisely what we're going for. That marriage between tongue firmly in cheek, yet having fun.
There's one stunt in the Truman Show where he's going around the circle. Like, why did they put a circle in a city that they want to have one guy in? I don't know. Right. But he's driving around the circle and he doesn't know which way he's going to go, and he's hamming it up, and they know they're boned, and he turns down the right street, and all of a sudden 55 cars back out of their driveway all at once. It clogs the street, and it's just amazing. How many times did they do that and crash?
And Laura Linney says, "Oh, traffic's so bad, we should go home."
Speaking of Laura Linney. Wait, that's a terrible segue.
That's a great segue. I love Laura Linney.
Has Laura Linney been a puppet before?
No.
I don't think she's been a puppet, but I have always had a not secret crush on Laura Linney.
She's great. She was the I Am Sam. Is that Laura
I
Linney?
Am Sam, that is? No. Mystic River.
Is that my Oscar in there? Mystic River?
Yeah. Mystic River, isn't it? She's the wife.
In Mystic River.
Isn't she Sean Penn's wife?
Is she Sean Penn's,
all I remember
is
what's her name?
Wife, who's like...
I believe she is.
Oh, wow.
Mystic River is
If only there was a way we could find this out.
I know.
It was invented to settle bar bets.
Hey, can I tell you iPhone 6?
Are you going to ask about the Duke?
No.
We're not supposed to.
Is that what you're calling it?
Yeah, I named it the Duke because it's that big.
The Duke. My favorite feature of the iPhone 6, and it's not really the 6, it's OS 8, is, hey, Siri. Boodunk.
That never, ever works for me.
It works beautifully in my car.
Oh, okay.
So I'm driving, and I say, hey, Siri, can you play The Crane Wife? And she'll say, you've already listened to it 800 times today. Do you want to hear it again? And I'll say, yes!
But that's just through the car thing, through your Bluetooth in the car and all that?
No. I just have it plugged into the aux cable.
Okay.
Because I get lazy, and when I update to a new OS and have to reconfigure the Bluetooth, I don't do it for months at a time because I'm dumbly lazy.
So, Adam, do you like it because it's conversational with Siri? Like, you don't need to press the button?
I like it because I'm driving and I don't have to touch anything.
Right, and then you're just saying that.
And then I'm just like, yeah, that song was great. Hey, let's hear another one. Hey, Siri, play Bernard.
I'm going to blow your mind.
Linney, by the way, Norm.
Computer status.
Oh!
What time is it?
It says right there, it's 3:14.
Well, anyway, for people who can't see on the podcast, I just activated my phone.
So I know that's been a feature on these for a while.
Yes.
And you can choose your phrase, right?
I can choose my phrase.
You can choose your phrase.
I choose something the most Star Trek-ish.
Configurability, lack of configurability has always been one of my pet peeves. I've always wanted to change icon numbers or layout and stuff like that.
But they're so pretty.
On the Duke, the big challenge is that the icons on the home screen still sort from the top left corner to the right, and then down, and then right, and then down. But the place that you really want to have all the stuff you use is in the lower left corner. And you can't sort from the bottom up because, iOS hasn't worked that way before.
Interesting.
So it's just like weird stuff.
You need a thumb extension.
Exactly. I had to just get a sausage thumb. Just stick it on the end of my thumb, jam it up there.
Band-Aid.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll totally.
It's a great idea. What could possibly go wrong?
When you go to the Genius Bar, they'll be like, "Have you been rubbing meat on the iPhone?" And you're like, "Isn't that really how they work?" If we're all going to be honest with each other.
I'm not going to post this until my Kickstarter is ready to go, guys.
So puppets. Why are we talking about Laura Linney?
I was trying to think of the best segue. There was no segue.
I thought I smelled something burning.
Yeah.
I like puppets. I'm a big fan of the Muppets.
I'm a giant fan of the Muppets, and I will tell you something. I'm going to reveal something personal here.
Okay.
And it's not dirty in any way. It's just personal. So I've puppeteered a bunch of things in the past. There's a famous children's book called Run, Run, Run as Fast as You Can. You Can't Catch Me. I'm the Stinky Cheese Man. That's what it's called. The Stinky Cheese Man.
That's a fantastic children's book.
Years ago, with my friend Steven and we made actually a live show of Stinky Cheese Man with videos and everything. And I made a Stinky Cheese Man puppet, which is rotting somewhere in this building.
Anyone from who was raised, I think, in the probably late 70s, early 80s knows the art for that book.
Well, and the art for that
fantastic.
book was the artist who drew all the art for that book later became the production designer for James and the Giant Peach, Henry Selick's film.
That makes sense.
So you'll recognize when you see it that line style and that drawing style. But I discovered something, which is I had never made a puppet before, but I made the Sticky Cheese Man. Then he started to talk to me, man, and I had a whole. It's really true what the Muppeteers, like from my friend Dave Goles, who's the voice of Gonzo, says. Is like
He's the puppeteer for Gonzo.
he's the
too,
puppeteer
right?
for
Yeah.
Gonzo and the voice, and the character comes out, and there really is a thing to that. Like, I've had that happen several times in my life where I've made a puppet or I've been given a puppet and it started to talk, and it really is this sort of deep alter ego kind of thing going on.
My favorite part about having a kid that's 2 years old is that we're in prime puppet territory.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when she was born, when she was really little, we went to the zoo and got a couple of puppets. Because the zoo, if you don't know, zoo gift shops are great places to buy puppets because they always have good animal puppets.
They do have good animal puppets, all made by children in China, but
Okay.
still.
Go to
your phone. So Norm's phone actually is now. So it's
the place in the
All of
Mission.
our phones.
right. Everything we have. Our
There's the kids store in the Mission. It's oh my goodness, the place where you got Winston.
Oh, the Paxton Gate.
Paxton Gate, the kids Paxton Gate.
Has puppets?
Oh, they have puppets there?
They have puppets there. It's one
What?
block down.
I'm going
So
there right after this.
Paxton Gate is
that'd be fun.
is the
They have a catalog too.
yes, but it's a physical store and they sell taxidermy
Yeah.
and all sorts of stuff. But there's
It's one of my favorite stores in San Francisco, by the way.
If you come to San Francisco, you must visit it. A block down, they have the children's Paxton Gate, which is all these kids' toys, including puppets.
Wow. So do you explain things to the child with the puppets?
Oh.
Like, this is why Mommy was wrong in the recent fight we had.
No. We try to avoid bringing the puppets into things, but the puppets have developed characters of their own.
They do.
We have Senior Frog, who is French, has a French accent, and
Senor Frog has a French accent.
and Mrs. Giraffe is his Mutt and Jeff kind of. They just have a back and forth. So yeah, sometimes
do you and Gina do the
No.
back and
It's
forth?
always one of us or the other.
Okay.
So, and they're slightly different. Like, sometimes she'll bring the puppets to one of us and be like, no, I want Mommy to do the puppets now.
Oh.
So, it's, I highly recommend puppets if you have kids. They're
Do you have
wonderful.
do either of you have a strong point with the character?
What do you mean?
Like, is one of the characters dominant for one of you that's different for the other?
They kind of have the same reaction. In the relationship, Senior Frog is the one that's always trying to get into trouble, and Mrs. Giraffe is trying to calm him down and keep
That
him out of
sounds
trouble.
totally rational. I believe
Yeah.
that giraffes are the
They're-
narc of the animal kingdom.
Exactly.
They see everything.
They totally do. They're like, I don't know if you should be doing that.
I have horns, but I use them for nothing.
I know, but I can slap you with my head.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
just a terrible design.
My neck is so
Not
long.
Very intelligent design. Let's put it that way. Poor giraffe.
Proof. Giraffes.
I met a lovely giraffe a couple of years ago at the San Francisco Zoo. I fed her bananas from my hand.
Really?
And it was astonishing. Their heads are much bigger than you think they
They
are.
have purple tongues, too.
Yes.
They're big lickers.
And their tongues are like 16 inches long. They wrap around and tie a
what they
knot around. It's crazy how long those tongues are.
You know what they say about giraffes?
We have a peanut gallery laughing in the background.
Live studio audience.
Live
once
studio
more.
audience. My son and my mom.
It's good. It's good.
So I
Puppets.
have a few puppets in my collection. I have a magnificent Kermit the Frog made by a master puppet maker from the same fleece. Now, you should know that Muppets are the furry skin of a Muppet is sewn and put over foam rubber. But that fleece that is the skin of a Muppet is a very special kind of fleece that is not commonly available because I believe, if I'm not incorrect, and I could be wrong, that the division that developed that is now owned by Henson.
Wow.
But its remarkable features
Apple.
are that it's synthetic,
Okay.
but you can dye it to any color you want. And when you sew a seam, you can comb the seam so it's much less visible. So the little hairs help you hide the seam.
So
And this Kermit is really beautiful. And I have to tell you that, like, when I do a very reasonable Kermit voice, and Kermit has a whole personality
Do you sing and play the banjo for Kermit?
I don't play the banjo, but I'll occasionally answer questions.
Okay.
Again, since I know actual Muppeteers, it feels deeply like I'm treading on their territory.
Well,
so I only, occasionally Kermit and Julia will have a conversation, or Kermit and my mom, but that's just about it.
Okay. We don't expect to see Kermit on test.
No. Not my purview. That's not my thing.
Is he your favorite?
Kermit of the Muppets?
Or any puppet character, Muppet / puppet character?
Kermit is like the puppet. He's sort of the he's the Jungian archetype of a rational puppet as an agent of self-reliance. But I have an incredibly soft spot for the performance artist Gonzo.
Oh, he's wonderful.
Who is just I deeply loved Gonzo. I also identified shockingly, as I guess you might will, with Fozzie the Bear.
I have. Hold on, wait. Is it the jokes or the beard or
it's
all of the above?
The proclivity to wear a bow tie, even though I know you've both worn bow ties.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a bow tie.
Never worn a bow tie.
You know,
No, it's Will.
For some reason, in my memory of Comic-Con, you're both wearing bow ties. And
It was a hell of a bow tie.
Back to back, they faced each other.
Oh boy.
Whose phone is ringing? That's my
live
mom's
studio
phone.
audience, folks. I like Fozzie because I thought the jokes were wonderful, and now that I realize that they are not, I like them even more.
Agree.
Gonzo was my handle on the internet in the back. Remember when we had handles on the internet?
Gonzo named after Hunter Thompson.
Presumably.
Right? Presumably. Yeah. I mean, he's clearly part of, Gonzo journalism, which was part of the new journalism. Thomas Wolfe.
I think Hunter Thompson might have disagreed with that, but okay.
Well,
but it ended up being the same.
It's all part and parcel of that growing meta consciousness within journalism in the late
exactly.
60s.
I mean, just the kind of uncontrolled, hey, I'll try anything, let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Not so much the chicken love. But I am good with a plunger.
But chicken And now I will eat a rubber tire to the flight of the bumblebee.
Oh, it's so
that
good.
was that's like New York art scene stuff that Gonzo was doing.
Oh, yeah. I just assumed he was somebody that Jim Henson knew from the New York art scene in puppet form.
I've been talking to Dave Goelz, the voice of Gonzo, about having him on the Talking Room, and we've been trying to work that out. My goal is to interview Dave and Gonzo, not at the same time, a la. I'm saying this publicly because I want them Disney to get off the stick and get this interview happening. Not concurrently like James Lipton does,
right?
But I want to spend some time talking to Gonzo, and I want to spend some time talking to Dave because they're both different in their creativity.
Oh, yeah. I don't know Dave at all, but I can't imagine that any human being is like Gonzo. So,
But puppets, and I also have a lovely puppet that was hand-built for me by a puppet maker, and it is me as a rabbit.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
But I think I should trot it out on Tested It.
We should bust that out. How do you feel about the 70s like super animation stuff, like the Thunderbirds and all that?
The Thunderbirds was very primordially important to me, but more in the method of being able to make stuff. Like I saw the Thunderbirds and like the plots were great, but I could build all that stuff. And that was like, it had a hand-hewn quality to it that I think, like Doctor Who, although I never watched Doctor Who as a kid, drew you in because it wasn't like there was no artifice going on. It was all just it was all textual, the shittiness of the product.
It's very clearly a trash can with some stuff glued.
Yeah, and
that's
that
a bad
sort
guy.
of made it accessible to me because my toys weren't much more advanced.
That makes a ton of sense. Norm, puppets for you? Any high points?
Oh, God. Gizmo.
Gizmo
from
Batteries Not Included?
No.
Gremlins.
Gremlins. Oh, okay. Jamie Hyneman worked on some of the animatronics for those movies.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I never was super into. I guess I was into the puppets from Return of the Jedi and stuff like that, but never so much. Like once the animatronics became like a guy with his arm up something, then like 6 guys with RC controllers on the side. That became way more unattainable to me than.
It is very entertaining. You can actually see. In some of the early behind-the-scenes footage from Return of the Jedi, one of the Tippett puppeteers puts Salacious Crumb in his hand and takes you on a tour through the other puppets. And I'm pretty sure this is on YouTube. And it's hilarious because this fully formed character on this guy's arm. You just totally buy it.
It's amazing.
Puppets are awesome. And while I haven't seen The Beaver, the idea... The Mel Gibson movie that Jodie Foster directed. Well, I haven't seen it. The idea that one could tap into parts of themselves with a puppet, having puppeteered, totally makes sense.
Well, that's Malkovich, being John Malkovich.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've always wanted one of the masks from that film. They made a whole bunch of them. Malkovich masks.
Well, now it's out there.
Malkovich.
We'll see you guys.
I think that's as good a place to.
Yeah. We'll see you all next week.
Malkovich.
Like us
iTunes,
everywhere.
Malkovich.
Yeah. All that stuff. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.